Human beings value freedom deeply. It is woven into the fabric of human existence itself via the gift of free will, and it has shaped revolutions, philosophies, and political systems across history. But freedom is often misunderstood. Freedom does not mean the absence of consequences. It means the ability to choose, and every choice carries a consequence. Sometimes those consequences are immediate and obvious. Other times they unfold slowly, shaping entire systems over decades or even centuries. Civilizations, like individuals, are free to choose their paths, but they are never free from the outcomes of those choices. And occasionally, those results become something unexpected, a prison of our own making. Free will equals choice. Choice creates consequences. Consequences shape systems, and systems ultimately determine whether societies experience more freedom or more confinement. The modern world runs on energy. For more than 2 centuries, fossil fuels powered an extraordinary transformation of human civilization. Coal drove the Industrial Revolution, oil accelerated transportation, manufacturing, and global trade, while natural gas fueled cities, industries, and electrical grids. The scale of progress has been staggering. Life expectancy increased, food production expanded, entire continents became connected by networks of infrastructure and communication. But every powerful system carries trade-offs. Over time, reliance on fossil fuels created new vulnerabilities. Energy supply became concentrated in certain regions. Global politics began to revolve around pipelines, shipping routes, and strategic reserves. Environmental consequences accumulated slowly, almost invisibly, until they could no longer be ignored. In some cases, energy dependence created geopolitical tension. In others, it shaped economic systems and environmental pressures that now affect the entire planet. None of this was inevitable. It was simply the result of choices. Humanity boarded an extraordinary train powered by fossil fuels. At the time, it seemed like limitless progress. But there is an old Japanese proverb that offers a quiet piece of wisdom about trains. If you find yourself on the wrong train, get off at the next station. The longer you remain on it, the more expensive the journey back becomes. The lesson is not about blame, it is about course correction. The earlier a mistake is recognized, the easier it is to adjust direction. The longer a system continues down a path that creates instability, the more difficult and costly the adjustment becomes. Energy systems are now reaching that moment of recognition. Renewable technologies such as solar, wind, and modern energy storage offer something fossil fuels cannot: decentralized resilience. The sun rises everywhere. Wind moves across every continent. Water flows through landscapes across the world. These systems distribute power rather than concentrating it. They represent abundance, ease, and freedom, as opposed to lack, friction, and confinement. Energy independence, once a geopolitical dream, suddenly becomes technologically possible. And this is where the deeper philosophical lesson emerges. The ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle is widely credited with the insight that through discipline comes freedom. At first glance, this seems paradoxical. Discipline appears restrictive. Freedom suggests the absence of restriction. But Aristotle understood something subtle about human behavior. Without discipline, freedom quickly becomes indulgence. Indulgence creates consequences, and those consequences often limit freedom far more severely than discipline ever could. With discipline, however, something remarkable happens. Choices are made with foresight. Systems are built with resilience, and consequences are considered before they arrive. Discipline in this sense is not a restriction on freedom, it is the wisdom that promotes it. And the same principle applies to energy. Short-term convenience often encourages societies to choose what is easiest in the present moment, but long-term freedom depends on building systems that remain stable under pressure. Energy independence, environmental stability, economic resilience, all of these require discipline. And this pattern repeats itself across history. When civilizations ignore structural lessons, reality eventually repeats them in louder and louder forms. Economic crises reveal financial imbalances. Environmental stress reveals ecological limits. Geopolitical conflict reveals strategic dependence. But this pressure also creates heightened focus and opportunity, because even when systems become restrictive, human beings still retain the most important freedom of all, the freedom to choose again. For 2 centuries, humanity built an extraordinary civilization powered by fossil fuels. That choice brought immense progress, but also unintended consequences. Now the lesson is becoming clear. The best time to change direction may have been 20 years ago. The second best time is now, because every civilization eventually discovers the same truth. Freedom is not the absence of limits. It is the wisdom to choose the limits that protect the future. If you're interested in reading more, my full work, The Book of Revolution, is available globally now.